Aloha all, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario 64. I'm Paper Mario Guy, and in the last episode, we were doing Lethal Lava Land, and I said that we're probably gonna do the 100 coin star for that mission, or for that course. But at first I want to go over to this particular level, and it's all like this black oil goo paint thing, and this is called Hazy Maze Cave, which I believe is actually the next course in the line of courses that you're supposed to go in if you're going in order. There's Big Boo's Haunt, I think it's number 5, and then Hazy Maze Cave would be 6. But here's, where I can kind of discuss, why this particular area, Area 2, has, historically not been one of my favorite areas, and Hazy Maze Cave has never really been a favorite course of mine, and there are a few reasons for that, and one of them probably has to do with me being little, and, one of those things is, first impressions have a lot, they mean a lot, and if you don't, have a good first impression of something, you're obviously not gonna really like it. Well, Hazy Maze Cave, for me, was always a really difficult level, for the 100 coin star, and for all the normal 6 stars, except for, like, the one that I just got. And as a result, for the longest time, I was just never a fan of Hazy Maze Cave. And even to today, when I can do everything, alright, I'm still not a terribly big fan. And, if I had to peg a reason, I'm not going to say that this level has bad design, or it has a bad theme, or any of those things. I think one of the reasons why I'm just not a huge fan of Hazy Maze Cave is because at the end of the day, it's just, compared to the other levels in the game, it just doesn't, doesn't hold up as well. I guess that would be probably the number one reason why Hazy Maze Cave isn't, one of my favorites. And it's not really necessarily a flaw of its own. It's just, I personally just think that a lot of other levels do a little bit better. And, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter why a level's bad. It's just, whether or not I like it or not. And for this particular course, I'm not a big fan. Hazy Maze Cave, obviously, being a maze, can also be quite cryptic, and that can be a little annoying. Which is probably why I didn't really have a really good time with it as a kid. There's maps and stuff like that all over the place where you can kind of look, and there's signs that you can read. But, that doesn't really do much for you, as a kid. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like I just feel like there's better levels, and, I don't know. This, I wouldn't say this necessarily scared me as a kid, but it just wasn't, like, the most pleasant or welcoming stage in the world either. So, I know there's a lot of things about Hazy Maze Cave that I could go on and on about, but at the end of the day, if I had to say, the Hazy Maze Cave is probably my second or third least favorite, area. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about Hazy Maze Cave. I am kind of lost though right now, because I'm trying to find the path to the swimming cavern. And, one of the reasons why it's also still not one of my favorites today is because, I never played it all that much as a kid, so I'm not really familiar with it as I am with certain other levels. But that's not necessarily a flaw, I'm just saying for personal preference. Alright, so what a life. I don't really need any more lives, but it can't hurt. Alright, so where is this elevator gonna take me? Hopefully to where I want to go. Yes, it is, actually. Awesome. So, There's a few stars that are going to be down in this general area, and you're going to have this big blue, like, dinosaur thing. I always call him Lapras, because he looks like Lapras. And, you need to swim over to good old Lapras here, and jump on his back, and then you'll gain control of him, and, when you gain control of him, he's going to want to put his head over here, and then you're going to ground pound, and you're going to want to go on top of his head. And then jump off, and yes, there we go. So that is that star, basically, in a nutshell. I thought I was going to slide off and fall, and that would have really been upsetting, but thankfully I got it. So, we got 2 in Hazy Maze Cave, and that's all I really want to do right now. Something that you want to note, though, is let's come and talk to this, star, or this toad. And, there's 3 toads, I think. I think there's 3 toads across the game that when you talk to them, they're going to have power stars for you. So, it's really easy, truly not hard to get, and, it's one of the castle secret stars. So talk to that toad, and you can get a quick and easy power star. But we're going to go, and we're on kind of like a little tirade talking about what I don't like about Area 2. So let's go to my least favorite area of the game, Shifting Sandland. Now, Shifting Sandland is my least favorite for a couple of different reasons. One, I'm not a very big fan of desert areas. I find desert areas, for the most part, usually pretty boring and pretty bland. Because, you know, with a desert thing, there's not much to look at. Like, I feel like a desert is, out of all, like, the themes that you could pick, it's probably the easiest to pull off. And not that I'm calling the people who created Super Mario 64 lazy, but I just can't appreciate the theme the way that I can, say, Lethal Lava Land or, you know, a tropical type theme. Because at the end of the day, a desert is a desert and not much else. You know, you have just sand and you know, a pyramid, and that's all you really have to worry about. Like, you know, there's not really much else to this level except for sand and the pyramid. You know, there's the quicksand, but, you know, that's sand. And those big pillars, you know, those are just put in for the convenience of the bird thing. I don't even know what they would be, you know. I don't even know why else they would be there if they, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that there is, you know, a need to get the bird down. So, you know, like, I'm not trying to be super cynical, but there's just a bunch of different things about this level that I just particularly don't like. And then, you know, the design is, you know, one of the things. And, you know, for a desert, you know, they did what they could, and I understand that. But, like, one of the other things that I don't particularly like is, just the missions. I find the missions kind of boring, and, you know, you know, you have either really easy or really, you know, really short, really easy ones, or you have really long, tedious ones that you could really screw up with, and you'll find those mainly in the pyramid. So, I don't know, Shifting Sandland is just, like, I don't know, you know, I'm not a huge fan. And I won't lie, you know, I am kind of biased because I didn't like this level as a little kid. And, you know, that stuck with me, and I've really, you know, kind of held on to that in a sense, because I've really had no reason to let go of that. You know, there's nothing that I've noticed over the years playing this game that has swayed me from my opinion of this being probably the worst course in this game. Now, granted, I wouldn't say that it's the worst Mario level ever or anything. You know, at least like 3D wise, I don't think it's the worst. I believe there's a Galaxy in, I think Galaxy 1 that I like less, but I can't think of its name right now. But, I don't know. I mean, if you like Shifting Sand Land, feel free to tell me why, because I honestly am, you know, pretty curious as to, you know, what the appeal of this level is. I guess, you know, the pyramid can be kind of cool, but, you know, I don't think it does enough for me. And then, you know, just to kind of pile it on, because I am explaining right now, you know, like what I said with Hazy Maze Cave, it also has the fact that, like, I just find there's a ton of better levels out there, so especially when you compare it to other levels, then it really starts to not hold up to, you know, the quality of the other courses in this game. So, I don't know, that's all I really, you know, I got my little rant out about Shifting Sand Land, but I'm just personally not a big fan, and I don't think I ever really will be. And I think it's like the one area of the game where I just kind of, I just kind of want to get it done. Like, when I think about Shifting Sandlands, I'm just kind of like, man, I just really want to get this over with. Which is never something that you should, you know, want to do in video games. Like, thinking back, one of the, you know, most famous segments of any game that I feel a lot of people have that feeling of, like Ocarina of Time, like with the Water Temple. I don't even have that for the Water Temple. When I think about the Water Temple, I think, hey, you know, all right, you know, I can't, you know, the Water Temple's gonna be fun, you know, it should be exciting, and you know, I can see how fast I can do it, and see if I can do it without getting stumped, you know, depending on how long it's been since I played it. And I don't know. On top of the fact that this is a vertical climb, and I've always been a fan of, you know, wider levels, in comparison to, like, vertical climbs. But, you know, this game is full of vertical climbs, and the thing is, most of the vertical climbs in this game are done really, really well. The ones in Whomp's Fortress is really done well. The Tick-Tock clock level, those are done incredibly well, and that level is probably one of my favorites. So, yeah. That's basically all I have to say about Shifting Sand Land. I'm not going to bash it anymore, because I don't think it deserves that much bashing. But I figured I would try to cover as many grounds as I could in explaining why I didn't really like this level before, you know, people commented in defense of something that I maybe forgot to say. And there we go. We went inside the pyramid, and we got our 3rd star of Shifting Sand Land. So thankfully, we're already about halfway done with it. And so a positive I'll give is that the 100 coin star really isn't that bad, but that's a small makeup for, you know, what is otherwise a pretty dislikable level. But anyway, that does it for episode 9 of Let's Play Super Mario 64. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, yeah. So I'm Paper Mario Guy of the KoopaNinjaBros. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.